NUTHIN.
Yeah, man. Is it cool to use loops while you're making beats? Come here, help me get as close to the truth as possible. We need to sort this out. This is not a video where I'm gonna talk shit about people who use loops when they make music. I just wanna know what you guys think about it and tell you about my standpoint. So first of all, let me tell you where I come from. My background, production-wise. I used to sample only records before. Started like 17 years back, and I was pretty Nazi with that. It was boom bap hip hop, samples only, records only, real sampler only, no computer. I don't know where we got these silly ideas from, but I had the EPS and later on the MPC 2000, and we used to go for only sampling records. Sometimes I would sample like straight up loop shit. So you can see later on the hypocrisy in my thinking. However, I used to get pissed off when people who were musicians in a traditional sense, say piano players, guitar players, what have you, saying that what you're doing is not real music, what you're doing is stealing other people's music. And this used to tick me off, man, because you know what? Even though it's a different sort of skill than playing an instrument, it's still an acquired skill. I mean, when you learn to play the guitar, you need to have another set of skills. You need to be quick with the fingers, you need to have a good sense of melody. But this goes for making beats when you're sampling as well. If it's gonna sound good at least. I mean, you need a really good sense of rhythm. You need to be technically skilled for the equipment that you're using. You need to have a good sense of melody as well, especially if you're sampling, say, 4 or 5 different tracks and meshing them all together. You need to get them all in the same key. You're picking pieces from here and there, making a collage, a big old collage of nice sounds that need to fit together. Also that, you need to know your sonics, like what sounds go well together. So I do really think sampling music is a-okay, and it's an art form that takes years to perfect. So I used to be kind of stubborn, you know, turn to the contrary on that, turn to the other extreme, thinking, so lame playing music in a real band. Now my respect has shifted a little bit toward the other side. I'm more impressed by someone who can really master an instrument and play it. I envy those people, for real. In a good way. I learned everything I know about music, arrangements, chord progressions, God knows what through sampling. It has been my Mr. Miyagi of musicianship, you know what I'm saying? It's been a good while since I sampled something because a couple of years back I just decided that I want to learn how to do everything from scratch. Just because it's fun. It was more fun to me and more appealing at the time. But I still think there's a sound that you can only get from sampling records that is very unique and amazing, dangerous. So here this little story that sparked this idea about making this video and caused me to question myself and my values around sampling and using loops in this new modern age. A couple of months back, a friend of mine was here working on his album, and him and this other talented dude had started on a beat that they were gonna make a song out of. So he wanted to polish it, finish it up, take it to the next level. So we decided to work on it. So he plays it back, and I dropped my jaw to the floor like this. I was like, God damn, this is fire ass sample. Where did you find that shit? What artist is that? And he told me Splice. I was like, yeah, I understand that you chopped the sample and edited it and everything. I could hear it because it goes backwards and all over the place, but where did you get it from? Like, who's the artist? Splice. No, you don't understand. It's from Splice. Everybody uses it. Okay, so now I'm intrigued. Everybody uses this. What can this be? So for those who don't know what Splice is, it's this sound library that's available online, and you can download a client for your computer. You pay for a membership and you get access to all these samples. It's a library of samples. You can get drum sounds, loops, instruments, sound effects, everything. So this client on your computer makes it very easy for you to find samples and drag and drop into your DAW or your machine or FL Studio, Pro Tools, whatever you're using. So at first I was a little heartbroken. I was disappointed, to be honest. I was like, oh, so you didn't make it yourself. How could he do that? I respected him and he betrayed me by pissing on the craft. But anyways, we went on, we added like 100 more sounds to it. We chiseled out that motherfucker and it turned out to be a goddamn banger in the end. I even went on and got spliced myself in case I ever needed any specific sound effects or whatever. I haven't got around to it yet. I haven't really used it. We'll get to that. However, I needed to get hip to the game, so I asked my Instagram peoples, how do you feel about using samples and finished loops in productions? And these are some of the answers. Yes, everybody has their way of making music. It is up to you what you think is fun. No. Maybe. If something already has been done, why do it again? I always like modifying it a bit. Non-manipulated loops, especially leads and leading elements, feel really borderline. No fucks given. If you flip it, I would never do it. All is fair in love and war. Aye, what the fuck? Human disgrace. Death. I ask myself the same thing every day, but the whole splice generation, quote unquote, uses it. Absolutely not. I believe from a point of view of an outsider producer, I don't like the idea. Would you steal your friend's Coca-Cola while he's at the bathroom? That's the same thing. A valid question? Yo, what's the meaning of life? And what's up with politics nowadays? I mean, who is leading the people? LMK, I don't know what that's for. Sheeples, what the fuck is going on? I mean, Confederates, conservatives, thought that shit was for foods. Couldn't agree more. We have some mixed opinions out there. So after some thought and some reconsideration, I came to the conclusion that, hey, what's the stats here, Bless? What you're thinking about. You think it's cool to sample 4 bars off a vinyl record, but you think it is breaking the law if you're using a 4-bar loop from a sample library. It doesn't really add up. No, I can't justify that. Here is my thing though. Pasting together a drum loop, a melody line, and a bass line, and calling it a rap like that, that's not producing. At least not in my ears. That is more like hip-hop EJ if you're familiar with that software. Or dance EJ. It's fun in games. It could be a great learning ground, a playground, but come on. You need to be able to do both at the very least. Now, I myself, I'm like, yeah, I could use a shaker, some percussion or whatever, some element like that and put in my production, but I wouldn't go farther than that. You walk up with 100% loop beat and say to me, here's something that I made, pay me. I would probably cringe at that. I'm sorry, that's just my respect limit. Opinions different, each to his own. However, if you flip it and turn it into a whole new thing, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. That's my deal on it. Another reason I think this is interesting is because with the Akai Force and the MPC Live updates, they're bringing splice integration to it, and also with the 2.8 update with the machine, we're gonna get a similar thing integrated, which is sounds.com, another sound library service. So it's very in the times right now to be using these online sound libraries. Seems like almost everybody does it, and I totally missed out on it until a couple of months ago. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to working on the dangerous sound kit right here. Let me know what you think about this issue right here and let's discuss it. Subscribe, comment. Okay, bye-bye.